Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, April Fools is upon us. It is the 1st of April, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the new legends that have come since the back end of the worldwide celebration that wrapped up in March. We're getting closer and closer to anniversary now, literally a month and a half away. Usually anniversary's around that mid-May, 12th of May sort of area, so make sure you guys are saving your gems, because those banners are going to go crazy with the 11th anniversary. But for now, we're going to break down the legends that we have at the back end of the worldwide and the end of month batch for the Zoro Memorable Battles event, which are pretty interesting characters nonetheless. So we put them all on a tier list. This is basically targeted at the entire game, whether you take the regular cycle of PKA, PvP, Treasure Map, Kazuna, Super Boss Kazuna, Blitz Battle, all that fun stuff. If you go to Extra Island, it's pretty bare for most of us, but if you're a new player, there's a lot of stuff to do. And hopefully, this particular tier list helps you guys prioritize where to summon and where to invest in your characters. Now, with the anniversary banner coming up in May, it will be a anniversary Super Sugo extravaganza. Basically, all of the best characters that you guys will see on today's tier list will be on that banner, so please make sure you guys are saving your gems. As for the way that I like to rank these characters, don't take that as a be-all or end-all for like, oh my god, Stump said that this is the best character, I gotta like max him out, or if you disagree with me, be like, oh my god, Stump, I can't believe you're wrong. At the end of the day, this is sort of just my personal opinion playing the game for a long time, prioritizing versatility, power, speed, usability, how often you use these characters as well, and how valuable they are for clearing and maximizing your account gains. So if you enjoyed the video, belt like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, hit the bell notification so that you're up to date with all the content. If you guys agree, let me know down below. If you disagree, let me know down below. But with that said, let's dive into the tier list for April, or maybe March. I can't remember how I titled these videos. You see it in the title. Alrighty, so this was the top 10 for last month. Standing tall still. Oh, it's been a year and 4 months since this character released. Like, still standing tall from the New Year's celebration of 2023. That's crazy, man. Zoro Sanji still best leader of the dungeon of the game. I think there's too much change, if any change at all, in this top 10. So, you guys see any of these characters coming up for anniversary, you definitely want to pick them up. You have Super Sugo, Super Sugo, Super Sugo, Super Sugo, Super Sugo, Super Sugo, Super Sugo. Oh no, where'd you go? Shit. Oh, there he is. Anniversary exclusive, Super Sugo, and then Treasure Map Legend. So, all these characters are going to be on the 11th anniversary banners, except for Nami Karina, but like, we'll talk about that once we get there. So, Ace, the 10th year anniversary character. Ace, a lot of people like to put shit on Ace because like cooldowns don't matter that much. But like if you're running PK level 150 plus and you don't want to stall, like Ace is your go-to guy. On top of that, he's great in big damage teams. Shooter's got so much support last month for the worldwide celebration, and Ace just like benefited that from like so much, because not only is he a shooter, but he's also a dex character. So like there was a lot of like strength, dex, and quick support too. So he benefited like massively with that particular batch, which is great because shooters definitely need the help. Yamato is in my top 3. A lot of people still don't see the whole Yamato hype. I don't get what you guys don't see and why people don't use this character as much as I do. 7 turns of any debuff removal: attack down, pain, burn, special limit, potential ability, that new potential ability lock one, like she can get around that. The type orbs, they get changed like into a particular type, and then that type orb can be debuffed. She can remove that. She just removes 7 turns of anything you want to select. As long as it's a negative debuff icon that's up above on the top left, where your buffs go, she can remove 7 turns of it, which is massive. On top of that, she's Free Spirit Cerebral. Free Spirit, one of the best classes in the game, if not, well, actually, what am I saying? The best class in the game. 3.25 times attack boost, damage reduction conversion buff, end of turn healing, double super class buff. Like she's so good, man. Like she's such a good unit, and she's a great leader too. I don't really use her as a leader; she's more of a sub for me. But yeah, she's fantastic. Gear 5 6-star. Look, I think Gear 5 6-star is starting to fall off. I think in terms of the Gear 5s, he's still not the worst Gear 5. Unfortunately, we have Strength Gear 5 back here. Talking big damage though, like he's a great unit. But out of these 3 here, I think I'm gonna do this. In Gear 5 for me, definitely it's just been getting better and better. When it comes to powerhouse teams, he's just like my go-to. Like I'm just like, alright, sick, I'm just gonna go straight to Luffy, and then I'll build the rest. Like it used to be Blackbeard, and I tried stuff with Kaido and all that fun stuff, but like Luffy's just a guy. He's just that guy. So I'm definitely gonna like build him up a bit, push him up the tier list. Fighter's got some really nice support with New Year's as well, and he definitely benefited from that. This obviously, guys, like your fighter leader, but the two of them together just like hybrid so nicely. And then you also have like this guy here who does fighter support as well. So very, very nice stuff. Plus Luchikaku's also fighter support, which is very interesting. Verse Luffy, still fantastic. Great damage output, great utility. I actually ran this combination for the latest PKA, level 200. So I put out a video already. Check it out if you guys are struggling for level 150 and you don't have any of the new, or you don't have any of the new characters on your friends list, because these two just get it done. Bind, burn, attack down removal, chain boundary, conditional buff, increased damage taken that goes for full immunity. Very good character. Luffy's still great though. 6-star Luffy, he's still great getting up to level 100 PK. That's pretty much the only place I use him though. We haven't really had a super boss that's been int in God knows how long. And even still, when you are running that sort of stuff, I feel like he's not going to be the go-to guy anymore. Especially with like Shanks being so prevalent. I feel like once that super boss comes around, we'll get another very powerful side character. But even still, like he's still fantastic. The revive mechanic's great for treasure map. He's got a okay GP leader burst. Nothing like his counterpart, which is this guy here. But he's still very, very good. Nami Karina, no, honestly, I kind of want to do that. Yeah, I kind of want to do that. Nami Karina, I'm like a go-to for most PKA runs. Like, at the end of the day, like, if a character gets an extra drop because they're boosted for the month, that's great. But Nami Karina are going to dupe a drop, which is just going to guarantee you that extra drop anyway. So you can just guarantee yourself an extra drop every single month with Nami Karina as your leader. And obviously they hybrid with any unit because they're a rainbow captain. So very, very powerful. Shanks is still amazing. Damage reduction removal. Obviously he got a massive buff this month with the release of Mihawk. Mihawk just became like his best friend. Which I will have a video out with that. That video actually is probably already out. So go check that out for like the perfect partners. We got Roger, the best anniversary exclusive, fantastic super tandem ability, great attack boost, all color affinity boost, just a fantastic unit. And then finally we have Gear 5. I'm pretty happy with that top 10. As for the God tier, if we kind of go down the tiers quickly before we dive into the new units. God tier, like these are like, it's like some of the best characters in the game, and characters you are going to use like more often than not. Like these characters that, like if I see a particular debuff, these are the characters I think of first. Next we have meta. Like these characters are all very good at the moment because of other characters above them, and they work exceptionally well. And then you kind of go down to S tier captain. Like these characters all work exceptionally well if you are running them as your leader or as a friend captain. That's where they shine the most. S tier sailors, like they've got okay leader skills, but at the same time, like you bet your ass I haven't used these characters as a leader in like a year. Where even like up here, even like Sabo and Ace, for example, like you're not really running them as a captain, but if you run them as a captain, they're going to work exceptionally well. Besides, like, probably these 4 characters here, everything up here can be definitely used, as a captain or as a sub. Moving down to the S tier level limit break. LLB means level limit break. It's a function in the game where you need 10 copies of the unit to max out the special ability, and it's usually on Super Evolutions. As you can see, all these characters are Super Evolution characters. PvP mainly, I do like to rank PvP separately. I do tier lists for PvP quite frequently, so make sure to go check them out if you guys are struggling to understand what PvP characters are good. But like these characters are all just like PvP based. Most of them obviously are PvP legends, as you guys can see, but we do have some other Super Evolutions and stuff like that that have sort of crept in and are very, very good. But nowadays, most PvP teams are either just PvP legends and then other characters that are just up here as well. And I do kind of rate PvP a little bit when it comes to putting characters into a tier list. But for example, like this guy's very, very good in PvP, but because of that, I'm not going to put him in meta, if that makes sense. And then we got AT captains, AT sailor, AT level and break. Just kind of the worst versions of the S tier. Support, these characters have good support, and that's essentially all you're going to use them for. Some characters are very good in treasure map. For example, like this Zoro, terrific treasure map unit. You're always going to run him as like a cooldown reducer and a wave clearer, but at the same time, like, yeah, maybe if you guys want to see like particular tier lists, let me know down below and we'll do some particular tier lists just on like, I don't know, top 20 treasure map legends that aren't actually treasure map legends, or that include treasure map legends. Bad for now, and then need love. Like these characters just need something, and these characters are bad but have potential because they could get level limit breaks and all that fun stuff too. Yeah, you need love. So, if we kind of go back up the top here, let's see if we need to change anything before diving in. I think Luffy and Lucci are definitely a lot better than I originally gave them credit for. Their ability to just be like 4 different classes is exceptional, and then they have special rewind built into their kit. They have the captain shift mechanic, so if you put them in the middle right-hand slot, switch into the captain slot when you need to get special bind removal. Special bind and special reverse removal. Like, they're going to be the character that you can definitely use. You don't have to use their special on the turn you need the special bind removal. Like, if you're just going to get, say, switch abilities to kill that stage and then save their special for the final turn. They're double stacking conditional booster. Unfortunately, they don't give the condition for their conditional buff, but still they are a double stacking conditional boost user, and they provide set target. And whilst it's only 1.75, it's 1.75 rainbow, which is absolutely phenomenal. So very, very good. Very, very good unit. Definitely a character I definitely did not give enough credit to. As for other characters up here, everyone else seems pretty fine. Sanji might be on the way down. Sanji's pretty much only good if you are looking for captain swap options. That's realistically the only time I use him. Even Nami's starting to fall off a lot as well. Nami's very, very good because she's a free spirit booster, so that's what makes her viable, but I haven't really used her as a captain in a very, very long time. In saying that then, we have to bring down Buggy. I can't have Buggy in the same tier as Nami. As for other units here, I think Roger's probably, it's his time to come down. He's a fantastic captain just to get around Despair. And he's still a little bit better than Roger and Newgate, wherever they are. Roger and Odin, sorry. Just because he's obviously a rainbow-based captain. I'm going to bring you guys down to S-tier Sailor. They're great if you captain swap them in from a sub. That's where they're best used. That damage reduction buff they give really hasn't seen any play yet. So I'm going to bring them down to S-tier Sailor. I really like the Sulongs, but I just don't think they're nearly as good as what we first gave them credit for. Look, I got to bring Brook down. It's hard. I'm going to bring down SC level Limit Break because I do think he needs to get value. With his revive mechanic, when it does work, it is fucking exceptional, but they've just nerfed him to the goddamn shithouse, so it's a bit of a shame. Other characters here, let's have a look. Uzu still hold their own. The double special bind special bind and special bind removal is great. Damage output of Yamato definitely cannot be ignored. Look, Wiping and Ace are pretty dog shit. I think Momo can probably come down to S-tier Sailor. I don't remember the last time I used Momo as a captain, but I guess he's probably your best EXP captain, hey. Yeah, he's got to be your best EXP captain, so he's got to... Oh, Roger is probably your best EXP captain. Roger definitely is your best EXP captain, so... But he's an option. If you are a new player and you're missing an anniversary banner, he's definitely a character that you guys can use. I feel like Kaido and King and Odin, Kinemon, Dendro can come down. Odin, Kinemon, Dendro, they're basically just a chain, a glorified chain boundary unit. They have captain shift, which is great, but it's only 3 turns, which works great with the Sulongs, but that's about it. We'll leave them up here for now. I really haven't used them that much. We're getting a lot of slasher support, so I feel like they're probably warranted. Kaido and King have been so disappointing, man. Kaido and King do have the ability to remove the tap limit debuff, and that's the only character that can, so I do want to leave them up here in meta. And then as for the rest of the characters, you have the debuff removal gods in Hiyori, Shiroshiman, Cherry V1. You can select 10 turns any debuff, which is fantastic. Strike Crew V1 can do the same thing, but nowhere near as good as these guys. And then Robin, Jinbei, still holding their own. Toki, still fantastic. Brook, fantastic, getting around Silence. The only character that can get around Silence besides Halloween Uta, and I don't even know where I've put Halloween Uta. She's just nothing compared to that Brook. I don't even know where she is. I know she's on this tier list because I went to remove her, and I went to add her somewhere, and then I found her later down the line. She's probably around here somewhere. Yeah, there she is. A-tier captain. She can remove silence as well, and she can do some big damage numbers. But she's just bad, man. Just driven, cerebral, weird combination. They both just need some love, to be honest. She's nowhere near as bad as Kusan. This Garp as well. There's, looking at some of these characters that released last year, it's just this was upsetting. I kind of want Nami to be an S-tier sub. I think I might do that. I'll bring Nami up to S-tier sub. I use Nami a lot. I use Nami quite frequently. She's got amazing supports, special mind removal. She's a very, very good character. As for other characters to come down from S-tier Sailor, I think everyone's pretty fine here. Yeah, I think everyone's pretty good. I kind of want you to be an S-tier captain. I think Luffy Yamato are definitely a lot better than I give them credit for, but the problem with them is they're a Luffy and a Yamato, so most of the time you're going to run a different, Luffy or a different Yamato. Most of the time I'm going to run verse Yamato as a captain if I want, Despair removal. But they do give blind removal, which is great. You have Ace Yamato, though, which is usually the pick for that. As for other characters, I really like Donsai Leo. I think you are just better off as a sub after a bit of play time and time's gone by. Robin and Chopper definitely still okay as a captain, but these two, these two characters are basically just subs. They do give that buff at the start of the quest, just like Zoro Kaku do, but they have no way of extending it, which Robin and Chopper does, and obviously Zoro and Kaku definitely do as well. So Very, very powerful characters. Sabo has seen so much play. Kaido, I think, can probably come down as well. I think this Kaido has definitely seen his time. Great for, like, wave clearing, great for treasure map and stuff like that. And that's why I'm going to keep him up here in meta. But most of the time, you're going to run this Kaido. Like, if you're going to run any, like, Kaido, like, most of the time, it's going to be verse Kaido, bro. So, as for that, I'm pretty happy with that. I like having 10 characters in God tier, 10 characters in top tier. And then we can sort of make our way down from here. But if we scroll all the way down, apologies for that crappy quality, if it is still happening. We have the back end of the worldwide celebration. So, we had part 1 came out a little bit early. We had Luffy and Lucci, and we had Zoro Kaku. We knew that there was going to be another anniversary exclusive legend. I did say it in my last tier list that we would be getting another one. Well, 99.9% certain it was, and we did. We got S Snake, which was a very, very random choice. It should have just been the Seraphim. It should have just been all the Seraphim. Or it should have been like, I don't know, like a character that we don't have a name for, and then have all of them in the artwork. So that would have been cool. S-Snake does not need another legend, nor does she need another exclusive legend. Like, her Kazuna legend's really good, but now we have an anniversary exclusive. We have the Kazuna legend Caulifla. Lots of people were like, oh, they're not going to throw a Kazuna legend at us. They just threw 3 anniversaries. And I was like, no, they're going to throw a Kazuna legend at us. Nowadays, like, you can bet your ass every event is going to have a legend. And that's what I really want to drill into people, that every banner is not summonable. Do not summon on any banner. Like, these 3 characters here are fucking amazing. Like, these 2 especially. Like, Alba is incredible. Like, a disgustingly good character. Mihawk is very, very good as well. Daz Bones is probably the most desirable, because he's the one that uses the sub. These 2 you can get away with using as friend captains. But, like, these characters are very, very good, but that does not mean you should summon on their banner. Like, it sucks, but, like, that's how the gacha system works. Caulifla is fantastic. She was a Kazuna legend. And then we have the 6+ in Soba Mask. Now, Soba Mask, we're going to start off with him because he's the latest 6+. And he is definitely one that a lot of people were waiting for. Soba Mask is a powerhouse free spirit character that has the ability to use the Vanish action. And he was one of the first Captain Action characters after the... Actually, no, he wasn't. The original Sanji was, where he could jump. That was the original Captain Action. And then there was, like, Docking Frankie. There was the Gear Shift Luffy. And then there was Soba Mask. But this particular Soba Mask brought a very broken ability, and it's what made him the best character in the game for a very long time. He brought an ability where he could bypass basically any debuff. And he's a Rainbow Captain, which made him very runnable. He made Tandem Orbs very accessible. He came out at the same time as Limit Break Expansion as well. And he had an expanded Captain ability that gave him, like, a higher chance of Tandem Orbs. It was so incredibly broken when he first came out. When Wano was first being a thing, like, I don't know, 6 years ago or something stupid. No, it wasn't that long. Oh, maybe it was that long ago. Maybe it was that long ago. Holy shit. I have to, like... Someone in the comment section below, like, post when Soba Mask came out. Like, give me the date of when Soba Mask came out. Because, like, that shit feels like so long ago. But, he has a Vanish action. It's for 3 turns. You swipe down. If you run 2 Soba Masks, it works the best. But if you are in a position where your captain just gets hit with something and you're running Soba Mask, it'll work great. Or you can run these captain swap characters. Like, these captain shift units. If you put Soba Mask in the middle right, you can swap him in, activate the Vanish ability, and then you can bypass particular abilities, and then eventually, like, you can captain shift back out. That's, like, probably the best way he's going to be used. It's very situational, though. Very, very situational. The fact he's a Rainbow Booster, though, and this captain shifting stuff can make him viable. It's very interesting, but at the same time, he's a Sanji unit, so, like, you bet your ass you're going to be running this guy 99.9% of the time. And it's only going to be affecting your captain. So that's kind of a bit of an issue. And now, you can probably say, oh, but Stump, like, if I get 100 turns of despair on my captains, then he's going to be great for that. It's like, yeah, he will be, but then you have to run 2 of them, because your friend captain is going to get hit with that as well. So, again, very situational. You can run, like, him alongside, say, something like Alba, where, like, Alba's just, like, immune to everything. I believe, like, he's an S-tier captain, or maybe he's in meta. He's got to be at least an S-tier captain, right? Yeah, there he's there. He's just immune to basically everything, so then you could run, like, something like that combination. Obviously, like, you're running more powerhouse-centric teams when you are doing that, but the option to do that is still there. He's an attack booster. He gives you a full board of tandem slots as well, which is very, very good. And if you have his attack boost live, you use his special in the same turn, or you run 2 of them, you're going to go up to, like, a 3.75 attack boost, which is kind of crazy. On top of that, you get a full board of Tandem Orbs. He has a captain ability that whenever a Straw Hat uses a special or Reiju, he gives himself max cooldown. So it's very easy to just go pop his special, pop a Straw Hat special, pop his special again, and then you get that crazy attack boost that's buffed. He also gives you the Tandem Orbs. He has burn removal. He's a great captain. Very, very good captain. Downside to him is he's pretty lackluster. I think he's only a 5.25 times captain, which isn't like terrible, like being rainbow, because we have like 5.75 captains. So I'm actually going to stick him up here in meta. I think they did a pretty good job with this particular unit. I think it's very easy for him to clear content, and obviously within like his boosted month, he's definitely going to be a great unit to throw on teams because he's just a rainbow attack booster that gives you a full bottle of orbs through block orbs. He's very, very good. A very, very good unit. So definitely used as a sub too. He has a 4-turn cooldown whenever the character, any other character uses a special on the crew. Yes, he's on a 13-turn cooldown, which can be a bit of a bitch. Let's say you use his special on turn 4, and then you move into the next stage. You just need 11 turns, so all you need to do is pop 3 other specials, and you have his special ready to go again. Yes, you won't get his buffed special ability, attack boost, but at the same time, like, who gives a shit? Like, his attack boost is already really, really strong, and the fact you got it on 2 separate turns is very, very good. Most of the time, I'm probably going to run this Sanji, though, which is a bit of a shame, because attack boosters are so prevalent, but I don't want to discredit what this guy's actually doing as a sub. I do think he's just absolutely fantastic. You could definitely run him down here in ST sub if you want to, but again, that Captain Vanish ability definitely cannot go unnoticed. Queen has the same thing. Where's Queen? This Queen here. You don't ever use Queen for that reason, but you definitely can use it if, say, for example, you're going to get like a Captain swap. This is another really, really good way of getting around that. So I'm a big fan of Silver Mask. You guys might disagree with me. It might be my bias talking because I love the character on release, but yeah, that's where he is. Alongside, we're talking about like ability, like characters that can bypass abilities. S-Snake is very similar to Alba in the sense that she can basically remove Bind, Despair, Special Rewind, Special One, all those nasty effects on herself. She can actually remove them, and she's a fighter character, but she also buffs like Strength, Dex, and Quick, which is awesome. So you can run her alongside something like Silver Mask and actually get that ability off as well. Her special gives you 3 turns of an orb buff, provided you have the tap timing buff that, say, New Year's Luffy can give. This one up here, you have to have a certain amount of turns of it. As a captain, she just automatically gives it to you, which is great. She buffs fighters and shooters, I believe. Fighters and shooters, and I think she does some stuff with Strength, Dex, and Quick. I think her orb boost is for Strength, Dex, and Quick. But overall, she's actually a pretty good leader. She does some pretty nice stuff with her special. She provides a lot of damage output, and she's a rush character. Fortunately, she is an anniversary exclusive, which means that she's not really going to come around all that often, and when she does, like, you're going to want to try and pick her up then, or you want to try and max out her rush then. But the 3.5 times orb boost, whilst it's great over 3 turns, it's just 3.5. Like, it's not super game breaking in terms of, oh my god, this is doing so much damage. She also removes defense up by 7 turns, which is great, and then she boosts fighters and shooters chain multiplicative buffs. And then she gives 1 turn of cooldown for the entire crew at the start of the quest. So you do want to be bringing fighters and shooters on her team, though, if you are running her as a captain. But her main ability is just like, hey, I can just bypass all of these crazy abilities if you are running her as a captain option. She has great synergy with the New Year's Luffy up here. This guy right here. She also has great synergy with Sabo because she can provide that tap timing bonus. But when you've got like Zoro Kaku's EX that can do that, when you've got Sabo's EX that can... Luffy's EX that can do that, like, you have other characters that can kind of do that better, and other characters that kind of go on the teams that she wants to go on. She just works a bit nicer. But in saying that, she's still a good unit. I did run her in the latest Super Boss for one of my higher damage teams. One of my damage teams was doing about 1.2 trillion with the 1.5 multiplier. And she was a big reason for that, because she was giving 3-turn buffs. So 3-turn buffs are becoming a little more prevalent. She's definitely the most lackluster out of these 3 characters. I think Zoro Kaku definitely shines the most. And then Luffy and Lucci definitely have impressed me a lot. I've used them quite frequently, actually, for how lackluster I originally thought they were. But yeah, unfortunately, S-Snake is she's just there, I guess. The Kizuna legend, though, Caulifla, holy shit. They cooked with Caulifla, man. Caulifla goes crazy. Caulifla has an ability where she can be either an attack boost, an orb boost, or a particular ability that only her and Halloween Uta have. If you hit 3 perfects, the character that hits hits after that 3rd perfect will just get a 2 times attack boost. However, you need to have an attack boost, you need to have an orb boost to get this ability. And then if you just look at, say, I don't know, Zoro Kaku or Zoro Sanji with these overrideable buffs, this is where she really shines. So you use the super swap with Zoro Kaku, you get the overrideable attack, you get the overrideable orb boost, you pop Caulifla, and then you get a 3 times attack boost to fighters and shooter characters, and then you also get a 3 times orb boost to fighter and shooter characters, and you also get that 2 times attack boost, which is a lot of extra damage, man. Like, a lot of extra damage. On top of that, though, she's got crazy utility ability. She's removing a whole bunch of paralysis, bind, and decreased chain multiplier. She also buffs Dex and Quick in that special of attack and orbs as well. Forgot to mention that. And then she also applies a paralysis and a delay that bypass full immunity. Now, this ability to apply delay and paralysis is so good because when you throw in the mix this particular character that can give the condition for paralysis and delay, but doesn't give that condition, Caulifla just becomes this guy's best friend. Not only that, but Caulifla becomes this guy's best friend. And what Caulifla does, she ties these three characters together because she's giving that attack boost, orb boost, and that tap timing boost. She's giving the extra conditional buff that Luffy and Lucia are double stacking, and then obviously you're getting that extra conditional buff with Zoro and Kaku. Zoro and Kaku, just they're so fantastic with their swap and what they do for the team. So Shooter's like got massive buffs. Like yeah, S-Snake is here, but like these three characters, and then you could even throw in like Ace as well, are just straight up carrying Shooters. Like just straight up carrying them. She's also carrying fighters. I actually want to put her up in God tier. I think she's so good. I think she's such a good character. As a captain as well, she reduces the ship cooldown to max, which is fantastic because then you can use utility specials. You can use stuff like the what's it called? The Coded Sunny that gives you the 1.3 damage conversion buff if you're not running a Yamato on the team. Yamato doesn't really pop up on these teams. You could definitely run where are you? You could definitely run. I know you're up here because I left you up here. The Robin and Chopper definitely works as a great alternative to that, but just having that extra ability to give the ship cooldown is quite nice. Otherwise, you kind of can't get ships when it comes to big damage teams, and she's basically built up around big damage. On top of that, though, she's not just built up around big damage because she can give you an attack boost, give you an orb buff throughout a quest, and she can basically just satisfy a whole bunch of different conditions depending on what you need for your fighters and your shooter teams. As a captain, she's pretty good too. It gives up to a 5.8 times attack boost, provided you continuously hit perfects. And then she has the overstacking ability too. So she's very good, man. Like I ran her pretty much across the board for Kazuna. Obviously, she's a Kazuna legend, so like that's where she's going to shine the most. But she's very good. A very good unit. We're scrolling on down now. We have the big three that came out as the end of month batch. And yeah, we got 3 legends for end of month, bro. 3 legends! 3! I was getting like mad Tobi Roppo vibes when these 3 characters released. However, the way they handle these characters compared to that Tobi Roppo release, it's just chalk and cheese. So the Tobi Roppos, they wanted you to use all 3 of those characters together, and then they had like clashing super tandems and all with super class powerhouse, which nobody fucking liked. But these characters are all designed to synergize with a particular illustrious character that is all the way up the top. So, yeah, Mihawk works with Shanks, Alba works with Kaido, and then Mr. One works with Cross Guild. Now, when I saw the celebration for the Zoro memorable clashes, I think they called it, I was a little bit concerned because I was getting flashbacks to the memories of the Straw Hats and thinking, oh shit, they're just going to go down a path where they just give us a whole bunch of like clashes from the Straw Hat characters, and it's like, cool, these legends suck, nobody wants this, it's complete filler, and it's going to make pulling these characters in the future just very lackluster. Well, lo and behold, they haven't done that, which is great. They've done a very good job with these characters. The characters are all very good, as I said earlier. We're going to start off with Mr. One. I think Mr. One is probably the most illustrious to own for your account. That doesn't make him the best character of the 3, but he definitely is the one you probably want the most because he's the one where you can't really just say, okay, I'll run a friend captain. Now, you definitely can run him as a friend captain, don't get me wrong, but the best way to use him is a sailor underneath Cross Guild. He has the same ability as Cross Guild, where he can give an attack boost, but then he also gives himself 13 turns of cooldown, and then has a second stage special if you've already used the special one time. So downside to him is on 14 turn cooldown, so you are 1 special short. I believe if you limit break expand him, you'll probably get that, but he also gives the top right and the middle right 1 turn of cooldown as well, or 2 turns of cooldown. Maybe it's 1 turn, maybe it's 2. I can't really remember. I think it's 1 turn, but I think that will then proc his ability to get his second special off, and then you can use it like his special again, and then give your captain another turn of cooldown, which should be Cross Guild if you are running them together. So that way you can get Cross Guild off, basically pop Cross Guild turn 1. Then you use Mr. 1 to get the cooldowns for himself and cross-skilled. You use Mr. 1's cooldowns again. You have his pseudo double special activation. You then use cross-skilled, then use the EX because this guy activates the EX. And then you get the third special. So that way you can just use cross-skilled across the board, all in one fell swoop. And it all works out pretty hunky-dory, right? And that's the true way they wanted to use him. As a captain, he can go up to a 5.75 with matching orbs. He has the Yamato buff, this one here, where he basically applies 5% final tap buff whenever a crewmate uses a special. So, like, if you have other units just popping specials, he eventually will just continuously give you final tap buff, final tap, final tap buff, final tap buff, final tap buff. And then you just get that at the end of the quest. There's no utility in his kit, though, besides the blind removal in his special. So that's where it's kind of a little bit lackluster. But the upside to the character is he has a super tandem ability for driven and slasher characters that is just a single proc. Basically, all you need is a crocodile or a Zoro character, and then that way you can activate the super tandem by tapping with one of the units. So, for example, if you have the tandem orb on Zoro or you have this tandem orb on Cross Guild, you just tap with them, you move into the super tandem with Daz Bones, and you can get up to a 2.25 attack boost, as well as removing 1 turn of damage reduction, which is a little bit weird. I don't know why you're removing 1 turn of damage reduction. He does have 3 turns of damage reduction in his special, though. So, it is 2 turns, actually. Yeah, it reduces top right and middle right character special by 2 turns. So that way you use his special once, and then you can just basically just continuously pop cross skill till the sun comes home. He has the 3 turns of damage reduction removal, which again, if you have the pseudo double special, that's 6 turns, 7 with his super tandem. And then he changes his own orb into a tandem orb, as well as Wano orb. So if you have a Wano slot, he's going to turn it into a tandem orb as well, which is very, very good. And then it's a 2.75 times attack boost. If you have 5 or more slashes or 5 or more driven characters on the crew, you get the 13 turns of cooldown. And then if you pop it again, you get the 7 turns of blind removal, 30% slasher and driven resistance, whilst also increasing attack and orbs by 0.5. So very nice stuff. His super class, as I mentioned, it is used as a sailor. It makes slashes into super slashes and gives you the HP guard of 75%, allowing your slot effect boost to be buffed a second time. So again, you just use the cross guild orb buff it with Mr. 1, apply the super class so you can buff it again, and then you're basically just double buffing the cross guild orb buff. So again, as you can see, like, cross guild's best friend, very good character, definitely in the meta for me. I don't know how meta the character will be, because like slashers just have so many good units. But as for damage output and stuff like that, he's a very, very good character. And he just brings out the best in Cross Guild. Now, Cross Guild are well over a year old. Do I think Dazbone should have come out sooner? Yeah, probably. Do I believe Mihawk and Alba should have come out sooner? Yeah, probably. But like, OPTC have this mindset where they kind of just like come up with good ideas that are a little bit too late. And I don't want to discredit them for that, but at the same time, like, I just wish these characters came out sooner to buff these characters a little bit later. Like, if this celebration literally was just put as the end of the anniversary, it'd be amazing. Sure, Alba would still be like, well, hang on, what the hell's Alba doing here? And why isn't Alba synergizing with anyone? Well, then Kaido comes out for the One Piece Day celebration, and then all of a sudden you guys understand what's going on. So, Dazbones, like I said, he's definitely probably the most lackluster of the 3, but he's doing so much for a character that's also very, very good. And remember, if you run both of them as subs, like, you're going to get a lot of value out of them there too, which is really, really nice. Next, we're going to go on to Alba. Alba's probably the best of the 3, in my opinion. Alba's so goddamn good, man. Like, he's so ridiculous. 10 turns of Bind and Despair removal in his captain. That right there, for me, goes straight into God tier. And you might be thinking, well, like, that's super weird. Why would you throw them into God tier? Well, if you get Binded, it actually stops your captain ability as well. So it's kind of like a pseudo Despair. But obviously, Despair can only hit your captains. So, for example, if you get Despaired and your captain is immune to Bind, say, for example, this guy here, immune to Bind. If he gets Despaired first, and then you hit with Bind, the Bind still triggers. If you get hit with Bind first, sure, the Bind goes away, but then you still get hit with the Despair. If you get a character that is Despair removal, where's the character that has Despair removal, for example? This Luffy has Despair removal in his captain. If he gets hit with Bind, it stops his captain ability, and then he still gets Despaired. If you get hit with Despaired first, sure, that's awesome, and then you remove the Despair, and then you get hit with the Bind. With Alba, it doesn't matter what order that happens in, he just removes both, which is just fantastic. And obviously, when you run him next to Kaido with 4 driven characters, you get Special Reverse and Paralysis removal as well. 4 debuffs removals, just in your captains. Just wild. The downside to Alba, that I find is his captain ability is very, very good. 5.75 with a matching orb. He's got a super type. You see either a Kaido or a Zoro. This, by the way, Zoro and Sanji is exceptional for all three of these legends, which is wild. It's so funny because Alba buffs driven and this guy buffs driven, but he's a rainbow captain, and then Zoro's driven, so it's hilarious. But Alba's captain ability, whilst is very, very good, makes quick orbs into Wano slots as well, and his super class is very easy to get, doing a lot of stuff with the final tap buff. The downside I find to him is he's special. It's a little bit lackluster. It removes 7 turns of burn, which is great. It also removes 7 turns of resilience, which is nice. But Kaido with 6 driven can do end of turn damage, so it's kind of like, why am I removing resilience when the end of turn damage can kind of just do that for me? But his special doesn't really provide that much. Now it does, but when you are running him with Kaido, he's applying a weakening buff, which gives you a 1.3 times extra damage and then an extra 1.5 times extra damage and 1.3 times on top of the increased damage taken, which Kaido can give. He sets defense to 0. He applies the Ignite ability, which is super interesting. And then he also gives the what's it called? The resistance down for all colors. Now, if you have 5 drivens, you get that weakening effect. But if you have 5 slashes, he gives you a 2 times advantageous typing for slashes and driven. Now, that's the big drawing point to him, right? The downside is if you are, like, if the enemy's weak to driven, you need to find a way to put on 5 slasher characters. Sure, he's going to be hitting really hard, and the other driven slashers that you put on the team, probably something like these guys, they're going to be hitting very, very hard too, but the way you have to team build with that does make it a little bit more finicky and does make it a little bit more challenging. So that's kind of the downside I do find to Alba. Realistically, that's me just sort of nitpicking, because, like, if you want the advantageous types for slashers, you just build out a slasher team, right? If you want the advantageous type for driven characters, just make sure you bring 5 slasher characters and you should be fine. Like I said, if you run 1, 2, 3, and then run Zoro Sanji, you can still run Kaido because you'd still bringing your 5 driven characters, so you're getting all the Kaido effects. All you need to do then is find another slasher character that can go on the team. Doesn't have to be driven, just has to be slasher, and that way you are getting pretty much all of the abilities that you need from Alba. And if you can do that within that situation, it is going to work very, very nicely. The weakening at 1.5 times and then the 1.3 increase to the increased damage taken is great. Obviously, the enemy needs to be weak to slashes or weak to driven characters to get that ability off. But they obviously are moving away from color affinity, which just makes this ability a lot more illustrious. Same time, like, color affinity, like, everyone's like, oh, color affinity just kind of sucks because, like, you actually have to have color affinity for it to work. But then we saw how powerful color affinity actually was when we first got it to work out. They burn resistance, resilience, and also applies 30% for all types. So very interesting that you can just do 30% to literally all type effects. Because he applies Ignite and applies his set defense to 0 for 1 turn, you can hybrid him up with another, like, a lot of other characters that can give those conditional buffs. For example, like Zoro Kaku can give that conditional buff as a captain. You could run, like, another unit that just sort of has that condition of, like, enemy's HP defense set to 0, or when the enemy has an Ignite ability, like, I don't know, let's just throw Ace on the team for like, shits and giggles. So Alba's very, very good. I do think that Alba's probably the best of the 3. Weird thing is, Alba has a final tap, and you do need to be at the final battle with 4 or more slasher or driven characters in the crew, not including himself, so you can, again, mix and match between drivens and slashers. He gives himself a Wano orb and then adds 0.5 to the damage dealt by normal attacks of other characters at this turn on top of the final tap. So it's kind of like a pseudo Straw Hat Crew V2, just nowhere near as strong. And then change the attack multiplier of Wano orbs to 3.25, which is pretty interesting. So basically just takes all the damage from everyone else, adds it in, and slaps it around. But the upside here is that he's just getting the super tandem of Kaido now. Probably the best super tandem for driven characters. Big Mom Katakuri, they have a very good final tap for Driven and Powerhouse too. You could easily just, like, find a way to bring them on the team as well if you are running Mono Driven and use them as the final tap. You obviously have Cross Guild for the Rush ability. That's going to work out great. You can definitely use Kaido for Super Tandem. You can use Zoro Sanji for Super Tandem. Hell, you could even run Mr. 1 and, like, Cross Guild if you're running them for the Super Tandem there too. So, very, very powerful character. I really like what they did with Alba. In Rumble as well, he's a fucking demon. He's so good in Rumble. And then finally we have Mihawk, who I just can't wait to test Mihawk in the future with Rumble, man. I'm itching to get my hands on Mihawk. Mihawk just looks like a mini version of S-Hawk and Strength Gear 5 Luffy. Like, he just seems on that sort of echelons, and because he's a slasher, it just makes me want him more. But Mihawk's best buddy is Anniversary Shanks, the 10th Anniversary Shanks. Now, Alba is very good because you can run, like, ideally you want to run him as a friend captain alongside Kaido, but you can actually use his super type as a sub. So I actually just read that then. So you can actually use him as a sub, just like Mr. One. You can use him as a sub too, but with Mihawk's a little bit different. Mihawk, he can only be used as, if I remember correctly, he can be used as a crewmate as well. There you go. So I'm just bugging when it comes to that. So when I talk about that in my video, just ignore that. Ignore that part. I might put a comment on that video before I upload this one because I look like a jabroni. But Mihawk, I always saw as like, we've always seen this like an equal to Shanks. Obviously in terms of stature, like Shanks being a Yonko, like his ties with the Celestial Dragons and then all that fun stuff. He obviously has that stature of being above Mihawk. But Mihawk is always, like, there's never a confirmation that Mihawk beats Shanks. Shanks has never beaten Mihawk. And they've always had that ongoing battle where they're kind of equals. And running them as hybrid captains definitely seems like the play for me. He also has a super tandem just like Mr. One, where you only have to tap with either a Zoro or a Shanks. And he can give up to a 2.25 times attack boost to Slasher and Cerebral characters. And then he boosts the attack of the final tap of Slasher and Cerebrals by 25% as well, which is always fun. Just getting more damage for your final type character. It's not like the be all end all, but it's never going to clash with anything, which is always great. Yeah, that's always nice to have later down the line if you are going to max him out. Mihawk looks exceptional in Rumble, fantastic in Rumble. Damage through defense at 1.3. Obviously, once you get into level 150, that damage is just going to go up and up and up. I think I've seen something like 9,000 with his super special, which is a 1.7. He's on such a high cooldown that you pretty much always see that super special. So fantastic in Rumble, and Slashers are just getting more and more buffs, which is great. But in regular play, he gives 2 turns of cooldown for your crew, 2 turns of versatility and super switch, up to a 5.75 times attack boost for Slashers and Cerebral characters, provided the character before them hit a perfect. So the first character gives, up to 6 times. So the first character does a 5.25, and then the next tap, as long as you hit a perfect, the next character is hitting in a 6 times multiplier. Makes Psy, Recovery, and Tandables has magic slot effects, and adds 0.2 to the chain multiplier, just basically from the get-go. He also extends the duration of attack boost used by specials, which is exceptional because his special ability gives you a 2-turn attack boost. Now, if you already have an attack boost, he gives a tap timing up by 0.7, for Slashers and Cerebral characters, and then he also applies increased damage taken for 2 times that will ignore immunity. So very, very good abilities. He also runs attack down by 7 turns, threshold by 7 turns, and does a 25% HP cut. So he's doing a lot of stuff for the team, but the real reason that he works so well with Shanks, not only the fact that he's a Slasher and Cerebral booster, but he also has a super class that gives an overrideable color affinity buff and gives himself a tandem orb that cannot be removed unless you hit a perfect. And then also boosts the final tap of Slashers and Cerebrals by 25%. So you're doing a lot of stuff with the final tap buff. If you're getting like all these characters together, like bring back Yamato, for example, and then use the Yamato's final tap, like you can do some disgusting shit, man. Like some real disgusting shit. Like it's kind of nutty with how much extra buffs you can get with these particular characters. On top of that, the super tandem just being like bong bong and you're done, rush with Shanks straight into Mihawk, it's going to be absolutely crazy what like damage numbers we can see. Or just like have a Zoro and go Zoro, Mihawk, and then finish off with the rush of Shanks, because I don't really have any good final type characters. But with the whole removing type effects thing being like more and more common, and the advantageous typing being more of a thing, this ability to override the color affinity, it's not exactly as powerful as it once was. What it does, though, it does unlock Shanks to get that chain boundary as well. So when you're running these 2 characters together, for example, whether this is a sub or as a captain, you can use the special of Mihawk to get an attack boost, and then the super class to get the overrideable color affinity. Use the super EX of Shanks to get an orb buff. Then he also increases the attack boost by up to 1.5 times. So it goes up to a, it goes up to a 4.5 times attack boost. You then get his 2.5 times orbs. You get the 4 times color affinity boost. You get the chain boundary ability. And then, like, it's just disgusting. It's absolutely wild how powerful the 2 are together. On top of that, Shanks is binding his captain. You're getting a bit more speed with Mihawk. Both of them are 6 times captain, and you can do some really, really disgusting things. So, out of the 3, now that I've actually looked at it, like, I take it back. Dazbones is not the most illustrious to own. These 2 definitely are. because you can use them as subs here and there. But I think Alba out of the three is definitely the best, and then Mihawk and Mr. One probably are just a little bit off the mark in terms of power output. And that just sort of comes down to that utility that Alba has. But in terms of like special abilities and power, damage output, Mihawk definitely takes the cake with that. In terms of like versatility and like how the synergy with the classes, I think Alba takes the cake there. And then obviously just like being a best buddy of cross-skilled does see a lot of play there for Mr. One. So I'm going to leave it like this. Let me know what you guys think of the new characters down below. While you're down there, put a like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. It's a bit of a long one today. I kind of went on a bit of a rant. It's been a while since I've been able to sit down at my desk and actually record a video. Feels kind of good, so I might have got a little bit carried away there. So apologies for a bit of a long one, but if you did enjoy it, like I said, put a like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.